Hello my little soap enthusiasts, and welcome back to Royalty Soaps. For those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Katie. I am the soap maker on this channel, and today we're going to be making some caramel pears soap. It's going to have 4 different colors. It's all going to be very, very swirly on the inside, and then the soap frosting that we're going to put on top is going to be pretty darn unique, if I do say so my own self. So of course the first thing that we're going to do is mix our lye water solution into our oils. So here's what we got going on for colors. We have Red Vibrance Mica from Nurture, we have Aztec Gold from TKB, we have this green color that I can never remember the name of, also from Nurture, and we have Titanium Dioxide. This is also from TKB. So I will have links to all of these colorants down in the description box below if you would like to get them. I'm going to pour off my soap batter into these containers here. Okay, so now that all of the soap batter has been distributed into these buckets, I'm going to start by scraping the bottoms with my spatula here, just to get all of that colorant up off the bottom of the container. Sometimes whenever you put in your colorant first like that, it's just hard for the stick blender to get all the way down there, so you help it out by scraping it with your spatula. Have been incorporated, it is time for us to go ahead and add the fragrance oil, and then I'm going to start pouring them into my molds. Okay, so I'm going to start with the red. The red and the copper color and the green are all thinner than the white. I've tried to make the white a little bit thicker just to add a different texture into this soap. Well, actually, they're starting to set up pretty good. Then I'm gonna pour some of this white in. I'm just gonna kind of plop it in from up high. Once I put this in, I'm not really saving a whole bunch of it. I'm kind of putting it all in right here, and then I might save a teeny tiny bit for the top, but not a whole bunch. Now from up a bit higher, I'm pouring the red again, hoping it'll kind of break up that white. I've put in almost all the soap at this point, so I'm just going to skip ahead now to the frosting bit. The only thing left I have to do is scraping out the containers. So I'm just gonna plop those in, and then we're gonna start putting on the frosting. The time has come, my little friends, to pipe a lot of things. So I have the Royalty Soaps piping set here, available from Nurture Soap Supplies. I'm using a different tip that I will leave a link to down below. I have put some Aztec Gold Mica that I mixed up with olive oil on the sides of this, so hopefully it kind of looks like a caramelized frosting. So I'm gonna start off with 3 little dollops across, and you can see the caramel color is already coming through on the sides here. This is a really good technique to sort of spice up your frosting. It's really, really easy to do too, so it adds a lot of prettiness, but it's not that difficult to accomplish. Put one down the side here, and then I'll put one in the middle. Sometimes I like to pipe that way. If I really like the design that's coming out on the side here, I'll go ahead and pipe all the sides with it first before filling in the middle area. And then if I don't really like what's coming out, I'll go ahead and pipe the middle area first. Okay, I've refilled my bag now. So whenever you refill, you'll have to put more of the mica on the sides of the bag. Otherwise, the next bit that you pipe won't have any color on it. And the more you disperse, like I did here, you see the mica on the sides. You can see I put a lot more on this side. The more it's going to show up on your soap here. You can see that that color's coming out pretty darn vivid at this point. I'm just gonna keep on putting all the way down. Then I'm gonna fill this area in with 2 little dollops all the way down the soap. This fragrance oil, oh, it's so good. It's so, so good. Definitely one of my favorite ones for autumn. I don't really want to put a little plop of soap in the middle because my embed is actually quite large, and whenever I have bigger embeds, I try not to mound up the soap too high. Makes it really difficult for us to package, and it's also just really hard to use. Okay, last little bit here. Just filling in those gaps. Then I'm going to put the decorative salt that I have on top of here. Whenever you're putting salt on top of a soap to try to make it look like sprinkles or whatever, it's really helpful to put that on as soon as you can. I have some time, obviously, here with this piping, because salt has the hardest time sticking to soap. It kind of wants to fall off a little bit. So the salt I have here, I've mixed with the red Vibrance mica. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit down the side. That's probably the best job I've ever done sprinkling salt in my whole life. I don't think any of it fell off of the soap mold. Yay me! I'm just gonna pour it right down here, just like so. Sticking really nicely since I'm pouring it kind of early. And now it's time to put the little embeds in. So I have these pears here that Caleb made for me. This is what the little pears look like. So once these are in the mold, I might color these little stems brown, but I'm not gonna do that just yet. I'm gonna see how they look in the mold first. So I always stick in the ends first. I apologize if you can hear my baby crying in the background. Her daddy's taking care of her, but she's not super happy for some reason right now. Okay, so now I'm just going to stick one on each bar. I'm gonna have to put them really close because these are big embeds, and I'm definitely gonna have to cut this with a bud cutter because it's just, this is just too big of an embed for me to trust with something like Evangeline. On most cutters, there's like a soap clearance. There's like, you know, you can only have so many inches tall for your soap, because it'll just knock off the embeds. So these will definitely be too tall for the multi-bar cutter. Someone asked me what I recommend the other day. If you want, someone asked me the other day what I recommend buying a multi-bar. Someone asked me the other day what I recommend buying first, a multi-bar cutter or a single bar soap cutter. Honestly, it depends on what you're using it for. If you're making lots of soaps that don't have any frilly tops on them, like mine do, then I would go ahead and invest in the big one because it'll save you so much time in the end. But if you are going to be making high top soaps and you haven't really gotten the hang of it yet, and you know you're going to be using big wonky embeds, it's good to go ahead and get yourself a single bar soap cutter because those are really versatile. Okay, so I'm gonna spritz these down with rubbing alcohol, just like this. And then the last thing that I'm going to do is heat up a little tiny bit of melt and pour, put some Aztec Gold mica in there with it, and we're going to give these pears a little bit of a caramel drizzle on top, because after all, the name of the soap is Caramel Pears. For the drizzle, I'm gonna spritz one section again before I put the caramel melt and pour on top, just so that I make sure it sticks really well. So I'm going to spritz about 4 of them at a time, and then I'm just going to take this little bit, put it right on top. So actually, I take that back. It looks like whenever I put the caramel on top of what I have spritzed already, it doesn't stick very well at all because it's too slickery. So I'm not going to do that on any of the other ones, and hopefully it just stays on. Just going to put it all around the top, just like this. Wow, that looks super realistic, just like a real caramel pear. And I'm hoping most of the melt and pour will kind of stay on top in the crack area, because I don't really want it going all over the soap. And I'm kind of guiding all those little caramel dribbles there, because they'll just go wherever they want if you don't kind of tell them where they're supposed to go. Okay, so I'm gonna finish the drizzle on these pears, and then we'll come back and I'll show you a close-up. Alrighty, so this is what the soap looks like once I have finished putting that caramel drizzle on top of all the pears. That was super fun. I really liked doing the drizzly bits. So I'm gonna let this sit for about 18 to 24 hours. Then we'll come back and we'll cut it up and see what it looks like on the inside. So we are back to cut up these caramel pear soaps. It smells so strong. Much stronger actually after the cure than it even smelled while all of the batter was raw. So I'm just gonna push down with my bud cutter here. And this is what it looks like on the inside. So that white ended up kind of staying in the middle there. You remember there wasn't too much of the white, and I didn't really spread it a whole bunch. There we go. I'm really digging the inside of the soap, especially up here in the piping where you can see the mica where it sat on the outside of the soap, so it made those cool little lines up here. Oh look, this one has no white in it at all. Ooh, look, and in this one there's a little bit of glycerin rivers in there. That looks cool. So the question for today is, would you rather have a flying carpet or a car that can drive underwater? Okay, so just like with the mermaid, like the reverse mermaid or the reverse centaur or whatever that thing's called, I am afraid of sharks. So I don't think I would want to drive my car underwater. I know it'd be really pretty in some areas, but I'm too afraid of the big things that could potentially eat me. So I think I'm gonna go with the flying carpet because I am less scared of the stuff in the air than I am in the ocean. If you would like to vote in today's poll, you can click the I in the upper right hand corner of the screen. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, maybe even leave me a comment down below, and I will see you all soon with the next autumnal soap making video. So until then, bye for now.